Check, check, check. Is this sounding good? Better be sounding good. Check, check. Sounding kind of loud, actually. What's going on here? Maybe like this. Sounding kind of loud, actually. All right. Yeah, let me know if this is sounding cool. Hello, everybody. How the hell are you? Yeah, we're going. I don't know what episode this is, 6 or 7 or whatever, of editing and mixing my new album. I was gonna do them track by track, so edit one and mix it all the way and all of that. But it seems like as I start to mix, my computer can't really handle the workload. So yeah. So it seems like we gotta kind of, yeah, I don't know what to do. I definitely, in terms of like donations to the channel, and thanks to all of you who have donated, we are very close to me being able to afford a new laptop or a new computer so that I can work on one computer, send it to the other computer to stream, and hopefully that will mean that I can do whatever I want and I can just actually show my workflow. But last night I did some mixing and it was just really kind of like choppy. Even my my buffer size was already at, I think, 2048, and that wasn't enough. So I decided for now, let's just keep editing a little bit, and I'm finished with the last song. So I'm editing today a new song. This is track 3 of the album. The last one is track 1. Track 2 is definitely the like most dense kind of song in the album, so that I'll probably do last. Just like to start off easy and kind of ease into it and figure out kind of editing workflows and mixing things, and then I'll go and apply that to tougher mixes. Yeah, so that's what we're doing today. Say hi if you're here. Let me know if it sounds good. Let me know if there's a lot of bleed or something. Yeah, let me know about all those things. And for now, let's hear the rough mix of what we have going on. I also have the demo. There's certain things I like more about the demo and certain things I really like about how the recording on this one turned out. Namely, the awesome vocals by my friend Leah Keeley, Montreal-based musician, and I will be linking to her social media if you want to go check out her own music. Incredible voice, as you're about to hear. So let's hit it. Yeah, so that is the gist of the song. I'm just so happy with the vocals. I think they sound awesome. I actually wrote this song way back in 2014, and the way I was singing it was nothing too impressive, and I just never found like the right singer for it, so I kept putting it off until last summer. I was at an open mic in a park in Montreal. I heard Leah sing, and I was like, that's it. And I will not do this song if it's not Leah. And thankfully Leah agreed to do it, and I think she did a great job. So let's edit this baby, shall we? And I'm gonna start with, if anybody watching has a preference, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just gonna get started with drums over here. Yep. Is anybody watching? Am I alive? Is this real? Who knows? We're gonna find out. So I'm gonna do what we did last time, and first off, start by checking correlation in that. Seems fine. I guess let's do actually some basic panning, because I guess all the non-stereo elements are not even panned at all. So let's start with that. And that's all the panning. Alright. So this one more time. Check that correlation. Correlation. What is correlation? Good question. Hi 31298. Thanks for being with us. Yeah, so what's correlation? So basically, I'm going to keep this playing, and I'm just going to turn it down for a second so I can talk over it. Basically, we got this recording here, and this is a multi-mic drum recording, right? We got 2 kick mics, 2 snare mics, we got 2 toms, 1 hi-hat, a stereo overhead pair, 2 stereo room pairs, and we even have this stereo kit pair, which I'll talk about in a second. No, I lied. This song doesn't have that. This is the drum bus, which I'll actually probably not use at all. That's just from the rough mix. But yeah, basically what correlation is, when you have a recording that's been recorded with multiple mics, you got to make sure that these mics don't have crazy kind of phase issues against each other, right? And in some cases they definitely will. Like imagine between the snare top and the snare bottom, every time the snare hits, the sound waves travel upward to the top mic and they travel downward to the bottom mic. So the basically they will arrive at a reverse cycle to each mic. So you got to fix for stuff like that, which some of that we did while recording, and we checked the correlation. We made sure that we have like a focused center, but it's always good to double check, and you use a correlation meter to double check that. So correlation meter goes from +1 to 0 to -1. If you're all the way at +1, that means that your signal is mono, meaning the channels left and right are completely identical. When you're at 0, that means the channels left and right are phase coherent, they're stereo, and at -1 means that they are completely out of phase with each other. So the channels left and right are completely reverse of each other. So really, you never hit -1 if you got a correlation meter on your monitoring effects, because if something is 100% out of phase, it cancels out. What we call a null test. So yeah, what I'm checking for is, and the biggest culprits on drums are, first of all, snare top and bottom, because of what we said earlier. So let's check these against each other. Maybe let's go kind of somewhere in the peak of the song. So actually our correlation is pretty good there, because, let me bring this back up again. Our correlation is pretty good here because we while we were tracking, we already flipped the polarity of the snare bottoms, made sure they are phase coherent. So that's good. The other big culprit can be overheads on their own. They are very wide. And then overheads and rooms, because rooms are further away, they can also kind of not be in phase with each other. So on their own, we can kind of see that they are very wide, kind of lacking a center, right? I hear a really nice kind of left and right. I don't hear a very solid center. And there's a couple of ways of dealing with that. We can always bring down the width of our overhead. Now it's hitting those values. 40% is a bit too much though. Let's maybe do, this is good. And then let's add the third room mic. Maybe I'll just pick one or the other. And if two things are out of phase with each other, basically what you do, you can just kind of like nudge their waveform in one direction or another until the tops of their waveforms kind of match up. So we can see, for example, and this is not a big deal in this case, but we can see the overhead and the tom. You see how this waveform is here, and on the drums it's down here. That could be an issue, but it isn't in this case, because with toms, I usually just isolate the tom hits and take out all the stuff. So not a big issue, but yeah, that's basically what correlation is, and hopefully that was a decent explanation of that. And I'm doing this to see if I need to move my my mics in any direction. My recordings, to do that when before I start editing them. So let's check out our kicks, for example. Yeah, they're very well correlated, meaning when the waveform goes up, this one goes up. When the waveform goes down, this one goes down. So that's sounding good, looking good so far. So let us, I'll also see if I need to I'm just gonna actually go to the end of this file and make them all the same length. And now I'm going to grab these and I'm going to group them. And I'm going to select these tracks and do this so that they are to length. And now let's edit this. So just kind of tightening up the mix. So this time I'll actually not be dumb, and instead of doing this like one by one, I'm just going to split these split items and grouped items. I'm going to use the overhead as our guide for when to open and close this. Actually, I changed my mind. I'm just going to do it as I go. Sorry about that. Oh, good. I'm glad it makes sense. And I'm just trying to suggest these. And actually something that I learned is that you shouldn't listen to them. You should just do it and then come back to it. And you should really look at the overhead. That's the easiest thing to use. That looks about right. Just looking to kind of get the big hits to be on beat, and if the rest kind of fall slightly off, that's just musicianship. Maybe this one needs a little extra help. I'm getting better at just staying quiet and doing the thing, as this is the 5th or 6th one, but obviously if you have questions, ask away. I can really do these quite kind of absent-mindedly, so I can totally yap and do this. It's pretty consistently just slightly late, so just maybe bad gridding as well. That actually kind of worries me that I imported these wrong, but I don't think so. I think I did okay. $312.98. What is? Tell me your story. Are you a musician? Are you a producer? What style of music do you like? Yeah, tell me some stuff about yourself. These I'm gonna do pretty tight, because it's essentially the metronome, right? Mm. Yeah, Steven Wilson. What an awesome person. Yeah, I mean, I like Porcupine Tree a lot, of course. And back in the MySpace days, I'd have been 15 or something. We had a band, and one day we randomly saw that, I don't know if you remember MySpace, you could kind of add people to your top friends. So we saw that our band is in Steven Wilson's top friends. And we messaged him and we're like, oh my God. And he was like, yeah, no, I like you guys. Keep doing what you're doing. Um, Very like humble person, very cool. And later in England, I went to see Porcupine Tree live, and I was like, hey, remember us? And he was like, yeah. And also in the other song that I'm editing, I'm actually using some samples that were produced by Steven Wilson. He's a really good producer. Like, he's a great musician, but wow, is he a really, really, really good producer too. And yeah, just super like humble person, really kind of willing to help out people. So I am a huge fan of his personality as well as his music. It's yeah. So this wasn't my like. These songs are my kind of solo work. More or less. It's not really like I always collaborate with people. That was my old band, which was called Free Keys. Um, and yeah, Free Keys was in his top friends, and he liked, if you look up Free Keys and then Dreaming, you should find something. Yeah, yeah, like Opeth stuff, right? Like really just well produced. Um, yeah, I would say that I like Porcupine Tree, but really as a producer is I'm like a total fangirl of that fella. This bit is tricky to get right. Not really. And I am going kind of minimal on this. I want to just go kind of measure by measure and then come back and micro correct, as it were. There must be a better way of doing this. And yeah, again, kind of just really taking care to do the snares. And I'm gonna go back to the kick and snare now, because those are what we are. let's try to do this quicker. Doom 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 boop 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 boop. I'm going back to overhead. I think I like overheads the most for doing this. But I think I don't like the color of my overhead. It needs to be something brighter. Brighter. Oh, would you look at that? We are not far from... We're not far from being done. I keep forgetting to do one thing, and that is I took like a bunch of pictures of the recording process on days where I was allowed to go in. On some days I had to monitor the recording sessions remotely because of the old COVID there. And I keep forgetting to bring and share those pictures for people who are interested. Did some experimental mic placements and used some, made some odd mic choices, which are my favorite way of sounding just kind of odd and different. Namely, there was this one mic there called the Chameleon, which apparently isn't made anymore. And that just was one of my favorite sounding, it became like the all-purpose mic. We recorded hi-hats with it, we did vocals with it, we did lots of guitar, and in another song there's a sax line. We did that with the Chameleon. So I guess it is a chameleon because it's adapts itself to whatever instrument you're doing. Yeah. Hi, can you make with snap to grid with stretch markers? Nah, it doesn't sound as good on drums. We already covered this in another live stream. If you have like a cymbal, stretch markers do not sound good. They sound like crap. This is really the best way because we are introducing zero artifacts, and yeah, fast is not the goal for me. Good is the goal for me. The reason drums are not a good candidate for stretch markerings is think of a cymbal, right? A cymbal has a chaotic kind of overtone structure. So it's not like it's the first harmonic and then the second harmonic. It's just a bunch of really random sounding frequencies together that make up the timbre of a cymbal. So when you stretch marker that, it sounds really just not good. So I prefer this method. And time is somewhat of a concern, but not really. And this is pretty fast. I can do this pretty quickly. So yeah, stretch markers, no bueno for drums, because this way we edited them, we made them tight, and there are zero artifacts. Now sometimes you gotta use stretch markers and be fine with the artifacts, but in this case, this is not one of those cases. That would be like a snare roll. You can't really edit like this because you just can't. So you can use a stretch marker for that and just be happy with the artifacting that you get. But in this case, let's check it out. See, this just sounds like a good performance. It doesn't have any artifacts from stretch markers. And these little snare rolls and stuff, they're just really, they're not gonna sound good if you use stretch markers. They're gonna sound sloppy, and all the pitch, like that extra tone on the toms, all of that, stretch markers just ruin all of that. This one's a little sloppy, this line right here. Let's fix that. See, even with this, did you catch that? There's a little bit of a burst of cymbal here. So I'm just gonna make this real tight. The sustain of cymbals is the worst thing for stretch markers. When we get to bass, I'm gonna use stretch markers though, because why not? Bass is sustaining, monophonic, you can use that. Yeah, that sounds pretty nice and tight to me. And now let's use stretch markers on the bass. So again, here we don't have like correlation because they're both mono instruments, but we're gonna check if we get these. Yeah, you see how they're not tight right now. I'm gonna kind of align these. Maybe in the end we'll just use one of them also. And the cool thing with Reaper is you can kind of see from this thing up here as you try to align stuff. That looks about okay. And but even when I do stretch markers, I do it somewhat manually, because manually is the way to go. Manually is the way to go. Everybody knows that. Yeah. And I won't add stretch markers right off the bat. I will add transient markers. And I also want them when the gate closes. So first let's kind of identify the transients. something like that. And then let's dial in the gate. Something like that. And you see how it's gonna create like 100 of these. So we'll give it a minimum slice length as well. Like that. And add transient guide markers to selected items. I think I don't have a preset for this, so let's save it. Base transient guides and generate guides. So now we got the guides, and now we can start to fix stuff. So I'll just kind of click through at whatever I see. The problem with adding transient guides is like this, you know. And actually, yeah, what's going on here? These are not the same performances, as you can see. Yeah, these are not the same performances, so cool. We're not gonna group them. We're gonna fix them one by one. I don't know why these are being used as two different takes, so let's just fix the first one. I don't know what's going on sometimes. Yep, 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 yep. And once we have done that, we can snap to grid, but I'm like selecting the notes that I want to snap. I want to leave some of them alone, and we can always get to it afterwards. Joink, doop, boop, boop, boop. Yeah. The more you do things manually, the better it will sound. Let's keep this whole passage somewhat loosey-goosey, somewhat. And then anything that is like not a 16th or whatever, obviously we can't do anything about. Or we can't use the automatic snap to marker or snap to grid. Yeah. I think that guy who said I should use snap or stretch markers is already gone like for half an hour, and I'm just still defending my decision not to do that on drums. On days when Bo is here, I get tons of comments. But otherwise, Bo, the chat is empty without you. And Bo maybe even sometimes watching from the future. So if you're watching this in the future, Bo, thanks for watching this. And I forgot stretch markers grid. I had a hotkey for this. It is Command Option Control and S. Dupes. And now. And I still got to check. First of all, let's use soloist, monophonic, and I'm going for tonal optimized. That already was not in the right place. Oopsie daisy. fact, let's turn on the crappy metronome, or turn off the metronome and just use the drums. This one again is a little rushy. This can be a little tighter. And maybe, yeah, like that. This can be a little tighter. This part's gonna be fine, so I'm just gonna go fast. Oh, I think this is like that. No. This can be a little nicer. That's some microtonal stuff. And some of the performance is shit, but otherwise good. Let's pick this one too. So same deal as before, just going through, just selecting the hits that I want to fix. Whoopsie daisy. A couple of these kids, maybe one or two of these, one of those. What are you? Who are you? Who's this? Hello, doink, doop, boop. And the amp, like, the bass amp is real compressed in that, so it's harder to detect the transients. But yes, if I haven't already made this point a million times, I don't I just don't trust automated things. Or maybe I have to believe that, because otherwise, you know, Isotope is gonna replace producers with a robot. But no, yeah, I wish this stuff was easy to completely automate with no human supervision, but it's just not el posible. these parts are, yeah, these parts definitely will need some extra treatment, because for one, their transients haven't even been detected properly. They're all a little like forward. I don't know what's going on. So because I did selected items and I should have done it one by one, that's possible. Oh, well, I appreciate that you appreciate it. Doop 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 boop doop 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 boop doop doop doop. Do 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 do. We're almost there, yeah. Do do boop 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 doop do doop dee doop. There we go. Do it, and now let's check it. I played today guitar. You can also split wave on markers and then quantize the wave to grid. I have found this manually. It's too long. Alright. You do you, buddy. Some sloppy lines on this one, even though the tone is better. Oh, the drums was a little slow. The drums are a little sloppy here. I'm gonna check the drums. See the automatic way. Now I gotta just fix all of it because it's detecting the thing now. And we're done. And definitely I'm not going to be using both of these basses, right? They're not even the same. Yeah, so for now let's just mute this one. And drum and bass are in the bag. I played guitar today. You can also split. Oh, I already read this. Yeah, and I mean, every instrument is different and every type of guitar is different. Polyphonic, monophonic. There's lots of factors here. And then let's get to the piano. So with the piano, we have some samples from the demo that I recorded. And they don't sound bad. if I had to do an off-the-cuff top 3 bands, what would you pick? Easy. Favorite band ever, the Mars Volta. Second favorite band, King Crimson. Third favorite band, Tool. Fourth favorite band, Snarky Puppy. Fifth favorite band, currently Go-Go Penguin. Usually my first 3 are like solid, are those 3 that I said, and then my 4 and 5 change kind of over time. Yeah, I'm wondering if I should have like both the samples and the piano, and the real piano at the same time. So this is the piano we recorded. This is 2 U87s. That's it. We didn't do a room or anything. The room mic here is from the samples. Yeah, just a couple of U87s, and I like the sound. It's a little bit like dark sounding, but I don't mind that. So just to demonstrate to our buddy 23 guitarist here, like it's just hard to get a dynamic split to kind of detect the transients on this one because it's such a sustainy sound. So things get tougher. What's the best Mars Volta album? Oh, best Mars Volta album. I would say it's De Loust in the Comatorium, and then not Tetragrammaton. Their 2012 album. Their names are always super obscure. Tetrahedron, right? I think that's what it is. No. Sorry, not their 2012 album, their 2009 album, Octahedron. Octahedron is my second favorite album. I was there. Penguin Band, Go-Go Penguin. Oh, Go-Go Penguin is so good. Oh, they are something and a half. They are this band. Really, really good band. Just the piano, bass, and like upright bass and drums, instrumental, really cool. It's like if Aphex Twin was a jazz musician, that would be kind of something along these lines. Yeah, so good. I opened one more page and immediately my OBS started complaining. The sensitivity up now because there's more sustained knee material on this one, so we gotta get it to be really sensitive. And we can also then come here and say, well, let's see the length of a quarter note is in tempo of 60,000, which is 1,000. So 1,000 milliseconds is one quarter note, and we're doing so 500 is good, but somehow I'm okay with 300 also. This looks decent. Let's generate the guides. The piano was played by somebody at McGill who's like a concert pianist. Like they can bang out like Mozart and stuff. And I gave him this simple piano line. And I don't know, I didn't find that they did a stellar job. Not to talk shit, I thanked them and all of that. I never met them. And they played one of the octaves wrong. I'm kind of an asshole for saying that because it's like, yeah, they did me a favor and played the piano on my track there, and now I'm here saying they're sloppy. So just overall, classically trained musicians. I'm always surprised by all the stuff they can do, and then equally surprised by some of the stuff they can't do. They don't improvise. So they see a thing, they play that thing, but they also gotta practice the thing. They can't just play the thing. But a jazz musician, I'd just tell them, hey, can you just play all ninth chords? And they'll be like, sure thing. And they'd bang this out. For Gogo Penguin, check out, if you like upright bass, check out The Window. Really good bass on that. Or check out Protest, also really nice upright bass on that. Do you play something yourself? Yeah, do you play instruments? What kind of music do you like? I'm assuming you listen to Opeth. You are gonna be into kind of proggier side of things. If you give a sheet music, you get jazz. Yeah, no, yeah, like I think improvisation really requires, I don't know, a certain mindset where you're not like after perfection. Like you gotta be okay with. I know so many people. I have a friend. She's such a good singer. Oh my god! Every time I hear her voice, I'm like, you should be on. You should be in every playlist. You should be in every festival. She doesn't release stuff because she like strives for perfection. Whereas I'm a terrible musician, but I like I'm just not shy about failing. Like I release something and then I realize, oh, there's like a click on it. I'm like, I don't care. I call myself brave for just releasing the stuff. Ooh, piano and just sax. Yeah, ooh, sax would be lovely. I wanted to learn the trumpet for a while, and I saw that here in Canada, there's a store called like Long and McQuaid. I guess it's like Guitar Center. I don't know where you're from. Maybe you're from Canada. And they rent for like something like $10 a month or something really cheap. You can rent like a trumpet. So I thought of doing that, but then like I went there and I was talking to the fella there, and I was just kind of telling him about my situation. It's like, oh, if you have roommates, like they're gonna be so annoyed by you playing the trumpet. And it is true, like you're practicing the trumpet, you're trying to get one notes going, and you're terrible at it, and the trumpet is just loud, you know. So I ultimately decided against it, but I would love to learn like a horn instrument or something woodwind or something. Mostly because I just really also love writing for them, and if I learn to play them, like I know their ranges and stuff, but the more you learn about like the anatomy of the instrument, you can write kind of more convincing lines on them. Yeah, sax is dope. I always wanted to be in a band with a sax player, and I briefly was. And actually, that dude, kind of nobody knows where he is, which is interesting. Yeah, off the face of the earth. Hello, Farhan Chakirim. Thanks for joining us from my birth city of Shiraz. Beautiful city. Haven't been there in 15 years. Probably more, but really love it. Really love the vibe of Shiraz and Shirazi people. Cool, laid back people. Whoa. See, this is what happens with stretch markers if guitarist 23 is still there. I'd have to do it when my girlfriend's out of the house, but I'm in Wisconsin. Oh, close to Canada, yeah. Yeah. Do you know the Reaper channel, Hi YouTube, I'm Dad? It's a Reaper mixing channel by Adam Granatella. He lives in Wisconsin. So if you don't know about this channel, he's a totally local person. Let's see if this makes a dent. Whoopsie daisy. This piano line isn't even a piano line. Like, this was my warm-up, and I was like, you know, I can make a song out of this. All the notes are a fifth apart, and they move up minor third, major third, minor third, major third. That's gonna not sound good. Weepy. Oh, that's sloppy. Thank you. Yeah, it's this was the piano at a university in Montreal here, the McGill University. It's a really nice old Bergstein grand piano. Sounds really good. But it was, you know, whenever you record at a university or something like that, like they have a piano hasn't been tuned since, you know, Obama. But I don't mind the tune. It was actually pretty fun, and I guess they do have concerts at this place, so it wasn't so bad. Yeah. Yeah, very memorable. He does something very genius. He opens every video with a dad joke, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, I wish I had come up with that idea. that's horrible. That's not how I wrote it. One, two, three, one, two. No. Also, classic musicians always have not as good rhythm. That was just a yeet. That's totally like, oh wait, what chord is that next? I can feel the reed right there. And that part is no good. I mean, what if I edited this? How impressed would y'all be if I edited this to how I want it to sound? It's actually not that. Dun, 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 dun. It's not exactly gonna be how I like it, but problem is now I can. I'll just keep it simple at least. It is now tighter. Whoopsie daisy. Oops, I screwed it out. I can live with that. Wow, this guy really just gave up by the end. These parts I might have to just throw away. Yeah. Alright. Let's check it so far. Some bits here were sloppy. A little brushy here. That's a little E.T. Sloppy. That's also the this one's also the wrong chord. just... Alright, I mean, the rest of this is essentially not really usable. Alright. Can't use the rest of it because it's not been played correctly. Then on this next line, the issue is that it's 1 octave lower than it had to be, and it's not even physically playable anymore. اینستا بله. That's my Instagram that Farhan asked for. Yeah. So I don't know what to do about this other than doing some weird stuff with it. Let's get weird. Let's see if getting weird works. I got this delay. It's isotope dynamic delay. کجا برام فرستادی؟ دوباره بفرست برام، ببخشید اگه یادم رفت. So I'm going to take this off the sync. And then let's see how this sounds. I don't hate it. Let's set this to 500. And let's set this to 10. It's 1/16 away, so it should be 500. And then all the way. I put it on my watch list to make sure I listen to it. Sorry about that. I'm a forgetful person. like that a lot. Like that a great deal. Alright, that's the piano. I think I'm gonna toss the verb on this one. Yeah, for now at least. I don't think I'll keep the verb on any of these, even though I thought, oh boy, we're gonna get a So this is no longer, a piano. This is now a whole other thing. But in front of it, I also want to make this sound somewhat cooler. Maybe this would be a job for Black Hole. Oh, love me some Black Hole. Now it's like a string. I'm liking where this is going. Oops, wrong thing. I used... let me read the chat here. I use MPL Align, but it makes some cracks on vocals. I wish Reaper user would come and make plugin for aligning layers. Yeah, MPL Align really relies on like big hard kind of transients to sound kind of natural. But another thing you want to play with, and in the other mix, I can show you that, like, so let's just pretend like this is vocals. Try the different algorithms, and for vocals I found the best one is Soloist on monophonic, and then come here and, like, if it's creating like lots of cracks, make it tonal optimized. If it's making pre-echo, you know, do pre-echo. And another thing you can do is, like, if it's a type of vocals where it's not like something like an opera, if it's speech, you can kind of cut between each syllable and then just move it around, kind of the way that I've been doing on drums, you know, seeing it as more of a percussion thing. Yeah, but it's not a perfect thing, for sure. I will be right back. Oh, I don't have a be right back page, so I'm just gonna go back to my starting soon page. I'll be back in a second. Alright, I am back. Yeah, with this sound, I'm kind of happy with the overall direction that it's going. That said, I want a little more control over all of these elements. I'm just gonna keep a copy of this. Because I think I want to, like, glue stuff, and maybe even I want to get weird on this one. So let's mute this and archive this. Happy-ish with what Black Hole is doing, but not 100%. It smudges too much. I want to check some presets. That's good. I think this is the ticket. cool thing with this thing is that we can automate this. We can make a religion out of this. I dig. It's a little bit in my face, but we can also compress. Maybe a little bit of this. Everyone wants to be in America. I gotta make a MIDI sidechain for this. I think is the way to go about it. And just make it kind of come back from behind kind of deal. But I dig. Leave us alone, or will it catch up to us one day as we stop to fill our lungs? And if you leave and say we're through, I'll use what's left of my life to come crawling back to you. And we'll be crash, and we'll be dead. But one day get tired of coming and find our way back home where our time. Calling back to you, and we'll be crash, and we'll be dead. But one day get tired of coming and find our way back home where our time has moved on. And we can change our names and wear disguise and watch the show go on. Are we or is this world? Or maybe we're from another planet and we stay here through the stars after all. Here we but sometimes I just cannot shake the thought that we don't belong. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap it up here. Still gonna edit the guitars, but I'm just trying to keep these kind of under 2 hours just because otherwise nobody from the future would watch them. Thanks for being with me. 31298 guitarist 23 Farhan, thank you. I'm gonna listen to your song. Message me on Instagram. I mean, I can, if you want, I can kind of give you my thoughts on your track. And yeah, thanks everybody else who were here but maybe didn't say anything in the chat. Say stuff in the chat. It's nice. It's nice to hear from people in the chat. So yeah, take care of yourselves and see you tomorrow with a tutorial, and see you on Tuesday and Wednesday with some scripting live streams, and see you later for some other stuff too, probably. Bye bye.